again at the Islamic Center of Southwest Ontario with the president of the Islamic Center, Mr. Naj Mankal, and we are here just because we want to know more about this organization, this mosque, as there are thousands of people, the Muslim community attending to this place, and they're praying, they're learning, there's too many activities going on here. But today we want to know a little bit about the president, and as we go forward with the show, we're going to start learning more about who is there, who's leading this community, and who is putting their faces up to all the integrants of the community. So, Naj, tell us, who are you?
I was born here in London, Ontario. I'm 39 years old, married with two lovely girls, 13 and 10. And I went to public school here, went to high school here, went to post-secondary here. I've worked all my life here. I've attended the Islamic Center when it was first established. I've been here all my life. So I'm the definition of a Londoner.
Yeah.
I currently work at the London Health Sciences Center, and I'm in the risk management department. I'm a corporate risk management consultant, so that's what I do by day, and this is what I do by every other available time I have.
Okay, so it means that we can say that you were one of the founders of the Islamic Center.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
The founders are the founders. I was very young at the time, and attending the center as the founders had established it, and when they were doing construction, as a young youth, I was involved in helping with the construction. These hands actually took down drywall and helped erect, and so I have a sense of belonging that I helped kind of shape, structurally, internally, how the center looks. I also at one point was I was on the board actually at a young age, in my late teenage years, and I was kind of the head of the youth, trying to get the youth involved, and so I've always been a part of the center. I left it for a while because my prior career got very busy, and alhamdulillah, when I obtained the role at the hospital, it'll be 3 years now. I found that I was able to volunteer more, and that's how I got back in.
So now you are the president. How long have you been the president of the Islamic Center?
So it's been 2 full years. This is my 3rd year. I started the day before Ramadan started 2 years ago. So I've now done 3 Ramadans and 3 Eids. So my 3rd year will conclude at the beginning of 2019. Yeah. March, April is when we usually have our annual general meeting. So that will be my 3rd complete year.
So from the moment you took the chair of the president till today, because we've been seeing a lot of changes around here. So how's the Islamic Center been growing?
This is, be honest with you, my first real leadership role. So it's not like I had a lot of experience. So like everything I've done in my life, I just, you go with the flow, and you just do what you think is best. Thank God I have a really strong board that is very helpful and helped through the process. And it was just realizing some of the areas that we needed to maybe grow, increase, deal with, stop doing. There was a number of items, and it was just trying to tackle those one by one. My philosophy has, from the start until today, is Rome wasn't built in a day, and so you can't make changes to everything overnight. It does take time, and so that's been my goal, is to make positive change, and I just hope that that's what I'm doing is positive change. I mean, there's always going to be people that see things differently, and and it's good. I take criticism and showing me that things I could maybe do better, or things that we as the Islamic Center could do better. So I'm always open to listening to that, and so is the board, and we try to do our best in that regard.
Nice. Now, when the Syrians started arriving a few years ago, the Islamic Center was one of the centers, the institutions that open the doors really wide to all the Syrians. And probably right now you are watching a couple of clips that we took on that time when the children were welcoming the Syrians, and that happens here at the Islamic Center. Also, well, a couple of meetings going on around because of the funding that was coming from the government, and all the situation was happening. How has been that growing in population to the center when the Syrians came?
So yeah, we noticed an influx of people coming in. On the weekend school as well, we see an increase in children in the Quran program, and just on Friday prayers. And of course, when you have an influx of people coming into your city, you are going to notice an influx in your establishment. So, and it's a welcome. It's a welcome to have whoever come to our Islamic Center. Our doors are always open, and the more people come, that's a good problem to have, is when we have too many people. We start thinking, okay, well, we need to look at trying to make things bigger. We need to try to maybe have two different timings for certain events. It's a logistic problem, but it's a good positive problem to have. And so just like any culture, any area, any country, whoever comes to London, we're very welcoming. As we were with the Syrians, we would do with any other nationality, culture, country who, let's hope that there are no other issues that happen in the world that were to happen. But if people want to come to London, and the Islamic Center, as well as the other mosques in London, our doors are always open, and whatever we can do to provide support, to provide ease, to provide knowledge, that's our job.
Islamic Center of Southwest Ontario, and with that we have the president of this organization, Naj. We are at the Islamic Center. What is that institution about?
The Islamic Center is a mosque that's in London. It's the second one in London after the London Muslim Mosque. And we offer 5 daily prayers. We have our Friday sermon. We have a weekend school. We have Quran programs. We have activities for the children. So it's basically, a mosque that's in the south end of the city to supply and be available to the members in this area of the city.
How many people are attending the prayers and the events here normally?
So on Friday is probably the best method to calculate numbers, and I would say in the summertime when school is out, we have over 1,000 people that attend our Friday prayer. For example, for today, on a normal Friday that's not school, like when kids are in school, we have, I wouldn't say half, I'd say over half, maybe 650, something like that. It's hard to calculate, but it's around that range. And on weekends, our weekend school with the children, we have about anywhere from 50 to 100 children registered in the schools, and the Quran programs, is probably around 50-ish, something like that.
Okay, so going back to the school, you mentioned there's about 100 kids, and the school is only Saturdays.
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, sorry, and Sunday.
So it's the same curriculum on Saturday and the same curriculum on Sunday, but depending on your schedule, you may be able to come Sunday, not Saturday.
Okay.
So it's offered for both. So whatever your schedule is, if you're able to attend Saturday, you go on Saturday.
How that works? The kids come and go like a normal school, but in Arabic.
It's just a weekend school, so it's a smaller, shorter curriculum. They teach them, obviously, Arabic. It's actually all in English. Because we have a lot of non-Arab speaking students. Yeah. So the curriculum is in English, and they teach them Quran, they teach them Arabic, like I said, they teach them religious studies. They teach them life examples on how to conduct your character like our prophet did. So that's kind of what is taught.
The parents can come and drop the kids off, and
yeah, they drop them off and then they leave, and the kids are here from 10 till 2.
okay.
And then parents come and pick up their children, and it's a win-win because the parents get to run some errands and do what they need to do on the weekends,
Yeah.
and it's also a win for the children because they're learning Arabic, they're learning religious studies, they're learning about the religion, and also it's a win for the parents because their children are learning this.
And continuing the culture.
Yes, exactly.
Very important, no? Here when the kids are cooking and there's a lot of activities on summertime.
Yeah, so we like to try to have programs to get the youth here. We've done different things like cooking classes for the infants, or not infants, for like the younger children. We've had people come in to do painting, different activities to get the youth kind of interested and wanting to come to the center, so that the center is not just a place where they just think that I have to come and pray,
Yeah.
or I have to come and learn something religiously. We want to offer other things so that they can have that enjoyment. We have a soccer field where we're trying to get up to par, so that we can also offer sporting activities. We were looking at one point offering some like karate, taekwondo. Just what we want the youth to come here, or any religious facility, so that they can. It's like a one-stop shop, so they don't go somewhere else to do something. They can do everything here. They can get the educational information, get the spiritual, they can get the physical. So that's kind of the goal.
Okay, Naj. Now you were talking about the Quran program. How the program works?
So we have our Dr. Ayman. He's the one that leads the whole program, and he has individuals that are teaching the children as well as him, and they teach the kids on how to properly read and recite the Quran and memorization as well. So that's a program that we're constantly always looking at improving and growing. I think we've improved it by bringing the individuals that we have, and I think now it's just an issue of growing it, so that we're providing the service to as many children and youth and even adults. He also provides the adults with this, because there's a lot of adults, myself included, that we could brush up on our Arabic and our Quranic reading and recitation, and so they provide that service as well.
There's too many kids that are born here, not even kids, adults that are born here, and they don't have that contact with Arabic, because at home the language is more English than Arabic. And
yeah, I'm guilty of that. I'm born and raised in London, Ontario, and I can speak Arabic and I can understand Arabic, but it's not I'm not fluent. My reading and writing is infant at an infant rate. So I can converse and understand much well in English. I find I have a harder time in Arabic, especially with different dialects. So that's why people like myself and who are in my situation would benefit in the Quran program, because it will get you to the bare roots and teach you the Arabic, so that you are able to recite the Quran properly. And there's a lot of adults that think they can recite the Quran properly, and when they attend these courses, they're like, oh, actually I'm not reciting it properly, and so they start to recite it properly, and it's a great tool to have.
Okay, so on screen you are watching right now. When are the program running for adults and for children to learn Quran and to practice their English? As Naj was telling us, there are too many people that their English is the first language, and I think it happens to all the cultures here as the families develop and grow in Canada. So, okay, we're going to go for a small break, and when we come back, we'll continue with Naj Mankal, the president of the Islamic Center of Southwestern Ontario. We'll be back in one moment. Stress in the show is how open are the Muslim community towards the rest of the cultures and religions, and can you elaborate a little bit more about that?
Sure. So I mean, our religion is it teaches us to be open to one another. If I'm speaking with a Christian or a Jewish or someone who doesn't believe in religion at all, you have to respect them as a person. And just, they should know about your religion. And our goal is to teach people about Islam, especially in this day and age where there's so much misunderstanding. There's so much, I want to use the fraudulent word, because there's so much fraudulent, negative information being posted, sent, stated. And so what our role is, every Muslim person, is to be an ambassador and to with our actions, show that Islam is a way of life. Islam it teaches us how to live our life, how to be nice to our neighbors, and how to deal with our neighbors, and how to deal with our family, and just everything it's an easy lesson. And so what we do is, by living our day-to-day life, you as my neighbor will say, Naj is a respectful, nice person. I hope you say that. Yeah. And he's not a harm. He's not a threat. And so, you know what? I want to get to know him. Now, and slowly you'll start to learn about my religion. And I do that at work. I've done it at every establishment I've worked at, where I don't force the religion. I just educate. And when you're open, I find people are more open to come ask you questions, because there isn't one person in the city of London or in Canada who is not Muslim that doesn't have any questions. They always have questions, but there's that, I don't know if I feel comfortable approaching a Muslim to ask them these questions. So I've had a wide array of questions asked, and they know I'm very open, and I try my best to explain things to them, and they appreciate that, and I find that we get closer when that happens, and through that I find that's how we can work together, and reaching out to the churches and the synagogue, and when there were threats at the synagogue, we sent them our best wishes and hoped that everything was okay. If they needed any assistance, we would help them, because we know how that feels, as though they know how that feels. And religious institutions should not be attacked in any manner at any point. There is no reason. And so we stand together with that, and also we're starting to do outreaches and stuff with one another, and we all have a lot of commonalities. So instead of concentrating on what separates us, let's concentrate on what keeps us together and what we have in common. And so that's something that is important to all of us, and we strive to continue to do that.
Yeah, and that's why we are bringing a new segment in the Muslim View show. It's going to be called Ask the Imam. It's exactly what Naj is telling right now. Is anybody can send us the question, or we're going to be recording, videotaping the questions, and the Imam, all the Imams in the city will be answering for you on camera on our show. So I think it's very important, because education, and let's put it this way, I think the word would be understanding. If I know why I'm liking or not liking something, is could be just a lack of information.
If you're gonna dislike Islam, at least have the information at your hands and at your disposal to make that informed decision. If you're going to base your hatred or dislike or negative portrayal, image of Islam because of what you read in the newspaper, what you see on the news. That clearly is not all the information. So by asking the imam, and it's people feel more comfortable sending in writing any question because you're not identifying who you are. So you'll give them that comfort level to ask absolutely any question. And there is no question that can't be asked because there's an answer for every question. And if there isn't, a lot of times it's sometimes it could be a difficult question. It's God knows, only God knows, and that could be sometimes be the response. But from an Islamic perspective, the imams will be able to answer those questions and hopefully give whoever has these inquiries a peace of mind about their Muslim neighbor, about the Muslim MP or their Muslim teacher or Muslim grocery store clerk, or there's Muslims, they're between 30 and 40,000 in London, so you're going to encounter a Muslim somewhere throughout your life on a daily basis. So if you have that comfort level with them, knowing that this is what they believe in, and actually it's a very peaceful, loving religion, and we all want to get along and we want to build bridges to work with one another, then there's really no threat. You have no concern, you have no issue, and you're going to go with your daily life as if this is a non-issue.
Okay, so now on your screen you can see the email where you can send your questions or your suggestions about what we are broadcasting, and we're putting on the screen because the idea is to get more open. The Islamic community is willing to be completely transparent and show you how nice this community is in London.
And our center, as well as the London Muslim Mosque and other institutions in London, are very open. If anyone would like to attend to have an understanding of what happens or what goes on, or they're free to come in and to come in and enjoy what we do on Fridays, for example. It'd be best to let us know so that we can make arrangements to give them a nice place to sit and to explain things as opposed to just walking in, because it may be a bit confusing. But we're very open. We have churches that actually have a trip where they come to the center on a Friday and they sit and they listen, and then after we bring them into our boardrooms and we enjoy a lunch with them, and we just have great conversation. And other institutions and organizations have done that. So very open, love to have people come and attend, and just to learn and understand, and just not be afraid, just to say, I went to a mosque, I met Muslim people, and they're nice people. There's no issues. The stuff that we're hearing is not a concern here in London or a concern in Canada or
Once again, thank you very much, Naj.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll be coming back to the Islamic Center very often.